All right, let's talk fantasy. Let's talk about the Bengals. They got a surprising number of good fantasy players on there, and we're going to start with A.J. Green. He's a guy that was in the top 5 at his position fantasy-wise for a number of years. Injuries derailed him last year. Does he get back to that top 5 status?
He could. It's going to be tough because that receiver position at the top is so heavy.
Yeah.
There's so many elite players. But I think A.J. Green not having a good year in 2014 is going to help him become a draft bargain in 2015 because people aren't looking at him as a top 10 fantasy wide receiver. I certainly am. If I could get him in the beginning of the 3rd round or the end of the 2nd round, I will be thrilled. This is a guy who's uber talented and clearly has a great rapport with Andy Dalton.
I also think that because so many people have been taking shots at Andy Dalton, somehow A.J. Green's become an innocent bystander in this whole thing. I think he's going to be fine. He's a top 10 wide receiver. Getting Marvin Jones back on the other side should help open some things up for him. And I look for, again, he's slipping to the 3rd round. That's amazing value there.
It's unbelievable value.
It is ludicrous, but it just speaks to how many great elite receivers there are.
Very good. We'll stay with you, Adam Ringel. Let's talk about Jeremy Hill.
Yeah, buddy.
This guy just came out like gangbusters in the back half of the season. Does he continue that trend in 2015?
Absolutely. We said it going into last year. He was the better running back of the two going into the season, and it certainly proved that to be the case. I mean, he is a strong talent. We saw it at LSU. He was part of that great team that had Odell Beckham Jr. It had Jarvis Landry. It even had Freddie Blue backing him up there, too. So he's a guy who can show, like, hey, when you give me the ball and you give me a chance, I am going to run with it. And I know the Bengals coaching staff is very excited about him this season. I expect him to be even better this year.
And Hugh Jackson, his offenses are very, very friendly for running backs. In fact, in his last 3 stints as an offensive coordinator, he's produced at least 1 top 10 fantasy running back, which is absolutely huge. He even helped Darren McFadden finish in the top 10. He helped him stay healthy one year. That's a miracle.
There you go.
Jeremy Hill in my last mock draft, end of the 1st round. That's where he's going to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a guy who's, if he lasts to the early 2nd round, you can't let him get by you because he's going to put up RB1 numbers this year.
I've got the 5th pick in our NFL.com draft. I'm thinking about taking him at 5.
No, because you're taking a quarterback.
That's right.
Aaron Rodgers.
How about Gio? I don't want to give away too much of my strategy. How about Gio Bernard? He disappointed fantasy drafters last year because of his high price tag. Going at a much more reasonable rate this year.
Sure, he is. He was still a top 20 fantasy running back, and he missed a lot of time, too. But when Hill emerged, he moved into a secondary role. That's what he'll be in this year, catching passes out of the backfield, coming in on some 3rd downs. I think he could be a bargain as a flex starter.
What round are you guys taking him in?
He's probably not going to come off the board until 6 or 7 in most 10-team leagues.
All right, so there you go. That's our Bengals fantasy preview. Be sure to sign up right now, NFL.com/fantasy.